IISER का कार्यक्रम शुरू हो चुका है। वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमण क्या कुछ कह रही हैं वो सुनिए।
And grandparents have accompanied you to see this program today. Good wishes and congratulations to them as well. The 11th graduation ceremony of the Indian Institute of Science Education and Research is a very proud day for this institution. This is probably one of the 7th IISERs that has been established in this country for promoting Indian Institute of Sciences like education environment, for building the culture of learning and growing to be interested in sciences. When we speak of science, India has its contribution, and I was just in passing inquiring with the Vice Chancellor if students are from different parts of the country and which is this one or two part which has greater representation. He told me there are more students, probably disproportionately more students from Kerala and Bengal. No doubt, Kerala, very happy to have you here, and West Bengal. But I'm trying to link to something which is very distinct about this country. You've had scholars moving from different parts of the country, even in ancient times, to spread knowledge, to attract students, to challenge people who would question the knowledge, the depth of their knowledge. And you had, all of us do know and do recognize that from Adi Shankara's time, Kerala's Adi Shankara, students from Kerala have moved all over the country, and we probably have a few more Adi Shankaras coming out of students here. For the depth of knowledge, I don't think anything need to be read beyond that. The scholarship, the knowledge, the quest for inquiry are all so typical. And you had scholars moving from Benares to south. Krishnadevaraya's court had a lot of people moving from there to Benares to seek knowledge. So this movement of scholars across the country is something which is part of our Indian tradition. We've always encouraged, and that is why you have great universities in the north, great universities in the south, and universities mark the names of the cities. So it's not just Nalanda. Kanchi was known also as a very depth place for seeking knowledge, and scholars coming from abroad, inclusive of that time a lot more open society. You had Chinese scholars coming to India, learning from different institutions, recording the achievements of Indian scientists and thinkers. So I'm glad to see that not only that IISER is promoting good education, good scholarship, and also teaching learning experience in this institution seems to really being very motivating for the students. And as I entered this building, I was inquiring with your Vice Chancellor about the recently announced NIFR ranking, and I'm glad to say that on the general ranking, Bhopal has been standing out, but there's miles to go. You are going to have to compete with Indian Institute of Sciences and many others who are before you, both in the overall ranking and also in the research side of things. As it is, I was glad to see that you have more than 3,400 papers that you have published. And that is the way it goes unless you are internationally acclaimed because of the papers that you publish. And it is also important that they get published in science-indexed journals. So I would encourage that this institution give emphasis for that. You have great open access library and also digitally endowed library. So with that, I think this institution can even make faster strides towards being one of the top science education and research centers. I understand so far there have been 1,964 students who graduated or who have been awarded degrees from here. I was surprised to see that you have had 8 patents registered and 9 patents awarded, which is a very great start for students and for the teaching faculty who are here. And that is where I think the quest for translating academic knowledge, knowledge which can emanate from science labs, computer labs, will have a potential for getting commercialized, potential for getting scaled up, and it is only when they are scaled up and only sometimes when they are commercially successful will the society at large benefit from the knowledge that you have acquired. So it is important for academia that you do well and progress in science. But for the society to get benefit out of it, it is important for you to seek patent and enable your patented formulation to be able to be commercially translated and brought to the use of the society. So it is important that we encourage science for science's sake as much as science for society's sake as well. And I'm sure the faculty and the mentors in this university will enable that kind of a culture here. But today's ceremony, because I was seeing Dr. Mohan Yadav, who's himself a very academically inclined person, also observing the students coming in rows and getting their degrees and going. This 11th convocation, I understand, has 79 Bachelor of Science, 214 Bachelor of Science and Master of Science, which is the twin degree, 28 Master of Science, MSc or MS, and 121 PhD being awarded today. It's, I think, for 11th convocation, a significant number. I congratulate IISER Bhopal for having reached this. New technologies. I understand also you have a set of students who have got their degrees for data sciences as well. Today, particularly the way in which the world looks at India is for the capacities that we have in making data become the new oil, as they say. That is what is going to generate a lot of policy making, a lot of commercial transactions happen, and also a lot of business prospects based on the way in which data is going to be analyzed. Tools are going to be derived for it, for studying data, and also for generating a lot more application-based inventions that you can come up with. Therefore, that one element which I heard for data sciences, as well as the others, because together put, science is not going to be in compartments anymore. I don't think it was ever. But to make it as a point to tell you today, multidisciplinary and looking at one another's overlaps is where science is going to have immediate benefit for the mankind. I don't need to elaborate in a hall full of students who have got their degrees for sciences to say how it is important to have multidisciplinary sciences benefit mankind. But today's need for India is in the advanced chemistry. And that is where India has to show leadership. And I expect IISER Bhopal to be able to recognize the need for advanced chemistry and advanced chemistry related innovations to help India move ahead in storage of energy coming from the renewable sources. A lot of activities going on. Government has invested heavily. We are leaders as much as possible in implementing the commitments given in the various climate-related conferences, particularly the COP21, 27, and subsequently the COPs which were held both in UAE and also in Scotland. India made a lot of commitments moving towards renewable energy. But the challenge in that is, of course, we have put our own money. The world promised a lot of money towards transitioning from fossil fuel to renewable energy. But that money is yet to come. But India didn't wait. The promises given in Paris have all been fulfilled with our own monies. There are times when, being the finance minister, it doesn't give me motivation when I have to answer people about why are our taxes like this? Why can't we even be lower than this? I wish I can bring it down to almost nil. But India's challenges are severe, and the challenges will have to be overcome. I seek very learned crowd before me, graduates, PhD holders, to understand India's challenges. I have taken the example of the renewable energy as one of those sustainable sources for energy for a growing country like India. And fossil fuel we'll have to move out of. But do we know how to transition from it? Except for saying, yes, we'll invest on solar, we'll invest in wind, we'll also have, and I'm grateful that Bhopal Atomic Research Center has come up with modular plans for setting up smaller nuclear energy centers for production of nuclear energy, which are happening, in which India is investing heavily. India is moving from fossil fuel to renewable energy on its own strength. If we cannot afford to wait for money which will come from somewhere else, so we need to have to spend to have that strength. But what is going to make it easier? When scientists like you, when people who have obtained great degrees from such institutions like here are able to come up with innovations which can help this country move towards greater reliance on renewable energy. For instance, like a layman, I would like to say here, before good learned science graduates, you know, when you produce power from thermal sources, you have ways in which you can generate it 24/7, so you have power even in the night or even the day when there is no sun shining. But when you depend on solar, which is good to move to solar, I'm not saying no about it, but when you move to solar, you generate as much when it is a bright sunny day, but if it is cloudy, probably lesser. But even on a bright sunny day, when you generate enough power from solar energy, it is only up to the time when the sun is up and giving you light. But after that, you are not able to produce naturally, and then you'll have to certainly look if you could have stored that energy which you generated during the bright daylight. We still don't have the capacity for it. We probably still are looking for even better materials for it, rare earths for it, and therefore the science graduates that all of you are, the PhDs that you are on, I appeal to you, for the sake of our country, do make sure that you're able to spend more time with your mentors, with your guides, with your supervisors, to see if you're able to give India the advantage, the lead advantage, in being able to give us batteries which can store, batteries of scale which can store to that extent renewable energy. And there are parts of this world where countries have decided that maybe till such a time that we get that lead in advanced chemistry and for battery storage, we'll still depend on fossil fuel, coal for instance, which is like going forward but yet coming back and saying we'll still have to have that base load which you need for energy transmission.